Hello, Supreme Commanders, friends, and those on YouTube that randomly gone and clicked. Welcome to a Saturday Setons, or at least it's Saturday's the time I'm recording this. It is Supreme Commander Forge Lines Forever, and it is going down in the Setons. As we say, 4 versus 4. The average rating on this one, the player rating, is 2007. And somebody will say, well, hang on, it says 2025 for Team 1 and Team 2. How do you make it 2007? Well, you'll have to ask whoever's behind Supreme Scoreboard and FAF and how player roundings go. Getting into it then, some of you quite rightly pointed out the last time I did a Setons game that I said the team on the lower west side was Team 1. And I have no excuse whatsoever. You're quite right. The team up top is Team 1. The team on the lower west side is Team 2. I was just going it like, you know, like the words on the book are from the left, so that's probably Team 1, and I was as lazy as that. And no excuse. Apologies for that. I'll tell you something else that I don't feel there's any excuses for. Let me just slow time right down. And this is a little off topic, and I realise some of you are going to think, right, I'm going to skip. But just hear me out on this. Does food taste as good as it did to you a few years ago? And I don't know if it's just that something what happens when you hit 40 or what, but the food here, at least where I live in the UK, doesn't taste anything like as good as it did even just like 3 or 4 years ago. And I know I'm not the only one because my girlfriend says the same thing, and I know 2 or 3 other people in the area that also think so. And so I'm really wanting to hear from people, especially if you don't live in the UK. Does food to you taste the same as it always did, or does it taste different? And I'm sure some of you are going to say, oh, well, I grow such and such in the garden, and that tastes as good as it does. And I agree, it does, because my girlfriend's into gardening, and she does, you know, a few little vegetables and stuff. It's always very nice, so that tastes the same. I'm on about stuff you buy in the shops. Actually, even the fries at McDonald's. And I go to McDonald's like once every 2 or 3 years. No, 2 or 3 times a year. Let me rephrase. Go there 2 or 3 times a year. And the last time or 2 I went, I noticed the chips, their taste off as well. And so I'm not sure, again, if this is just a UK thing or whether there's some rule and they've changed, oh, you can't have salt, but you can have this other thing that's a bit, I don't know what it is. All I know is the food tastes off. So do let us know. And now that I've gone ahead and really confused the algorithm that thinks, oh, it sounds like it's some sort of cookery show, let's go ahead and get into the mechanical mayhem. So let's slightly increase the speed as we go and introduce our players. Yeah, so if it's off, let me know. Not just that, yeah, it's off, but which country that you're in, and perhaps more specifically, what food as well. All right, in the forward position then for Team 1 is Kavat. He's a 1900 Aeon going the forward slot there for Team 1. First and second land. Moving to his north in beach in Ferrari red is Trandon. Not seen this guy for a day or 2. Perhaps he's been busy, or I've just not featured him so often on the channel. He's going there, Cybran, making his way towards the mid as is customary these days. Having gone first land, looks like second air queued up. Already got a scout over here from Kuwa. 1 minute 57 seconds a scout over your opponent's base. That can only mean your opponent went first air, by the way. Moving in rear wit gear then for Team 1 is Epic Benis with a B. Don't want YouTube thinking, hang on, is it a cookery show or is it some sort of porno flick? Either way, got to be very careful there. It's Benis with a B. Epic Benis. Seraphim there going first land in gold, the 2K rated. And last but not least for Team 1 is VIP in orange. Having gone first land, looks like second air queued up. Switching over then to the other team, Team 2 down south. In the front slot, we've got public enemy number 1. He is the green Seraphim. And the, oh, beautiful and shiny commander there. Actually, not quite as shiny as I recall it. They've perhaps dampened it down ever so slightly. Still looks pretty cool, especially there in green. Is the 1900, the same as his opposite number there, having gone first land, second land, third, fourth, fifth. You're going to go land all day if you're in the forward slot and Setons, unless you decide to go first air to try and rush out a bomber. His pal down here on beach in Bran is Pants. He's a 1900. Also making his way towards the mid there. The Seraphim having gone first land and is moving out. In the rear with the gear then for Team 2 in grey is the highest rated player in today's game. It is Nori, 2300. Playing as the Aeon faction, going first land. Almost, there we go, gets his first mass upgrade. 2 minutes 53 seconds. There's your target, guys. And he's already got his second one updating. And last but not least, in Sky Blue, we have Kuwa. And I'm not even going to try and pronounce the rest of his name and embarrass myself. Sorry if that offends anyone, but it is what it is. I just can't do it. We know he went first there, second land there. He's the 2K Cliff player for Team 2. And with that, I think we can go ahead and go full pelt. Kuwa, who at 3 minutes actually getting his first drop for his side island. Trandon with a scout there. And that's going to let Trandon know, oh, I got there just in time to witness my opponent get a drop on the situation. VIP with almost in sync with a drop on the other side, just 2 or 3 seconds behind. First bomber action here from Kuwa. Takes out 2 of the engineers that were working on the air factory there for Trandon. That's build capacity down. They were actually trying to get more PGens online, which is crucial for the air factory. Another bomb on top of the air factory actually cancels the air unit that was being produced. The bomber actually survives to turn around once more with just 8 hit points. Picks off an engineer, and surely Trandon's going to bag that one. Yes, he does. And so with it, the first bomber there takes out 3 lots of build capacity. Nice work from Kuwa. Centrally, then public enemy number 1 from Team 2 down south there. Getting lots of the reclaim. Got to be sure I get that right after that mix-up. Thanks to those that pointed it out. You kept saying T1 was down south. It's up north. I know. I'm sorry. I've got no excuse. Really don't. Public enemy number 1 here. Eating a lot of Aurora Fire. Nice work here from Kavat. Exploiting the range advantage he's got. And again there, Trandon, I beg your pardon, with the nearer side to the Rex when it compares to Pants. So the 4 players here getting stuck in. We'll have another look. Gotta say, VIP, look at him. He's dropping off a Mech Marine down here. That's got 2 kills. I suspect they were engineers. He's using this particular Mech Marine as a ghetto gunship. Picks off another engineer there belonging to Nori. And looks like he's still using his... Is there just 1 Mech Marine on that transport? There is, but either way, it's still pretty effective. Ghetto gunship. That forces Nori into producing anti-air. VIP recognizes it and flies away. And he's going to be able to carry on using this very effective ghetto gunship. Drops off the Mech Marine. Yet another engineer is down. Very well played. I'm going to focus in on the mids. Pants stands there for too long. Perhaps getting caught with his pants down. Far too much fire here. 908, 765. Well, you can figure out the rest. Kaboom. Pants goes down. Actually right next to 2 enemy commanders. Public enemy number 1 managed to get away. Saw the right was on the wall. Together with his units. This leaves both enemy commanders in the spot of bother. And it looks like Kavat is the one that he's going for. And that's going to be a win on behalf of Team 2. Public enemy number 1. Bang! Pulls it back. That makes it a 3 versus 3. Trandon, of course, who was very close to the commander going up there. Very heavily damaged. Sub 2k, actually. Trandon, of course, the highest rated player on his team. Maybe would have been the better of the 2 targets, but of course in the heat of the moment, and you get what you can. Yeah, Trandon's chassis just ticking over 2,000 there with, what, 18 hit points a second. Going back onto the hit points. Of course, 18 hit points a second goes back onto the hit points. What else are they going to go on? Definitely feels like Team 2 had the upper hand in that engagement overall, even though both of the players were equal in rating. Public Enemy looking the stronger of the two and retains control of the central area, and still looks like there's about 600-700 mass to be had. Further down south, just caught my eye on the mini-map. VIP with yet another drop, this time not Mech Marines. We've got a mixture of, what's this, Strikers, Anti-Air and Lobo. 2 of each, actually. 2 tanks, 2 artillery pieces, 2 AAA units. VIP now sending some air in as well. No scouting with these units, so air kind of crucial to see what's what and where. Have a quick look elsewhere. How are we doing? Always said that when I cast Setons games, don't know why, but for whatever reason, traditionally the Northern Pond was always the quieter of the two. I guess it's just that's the way it's been on my channel for whatever reason. And the Southern Pond, there was always more action, but today looks like there's action all over the shop. Nobody's been spared. VIP here does leave a tank behind to deal with what's here, sends the other 5 units from his drop forward. He has yet another bomber in the area. 6 kills to its name. He's got Navy pressing into public enemy naval base. It does appear that these units are going to come a cropper, and they're not going to get that much done beyond what they have already. This artillery's actually got 4 kills. Very nice. Does get a round off onto a Tech 2 mechs, but doesn't manage to cause it enough damage to be a problem. The solitary striker over here, there you see, VIP without access to intel, no scout. Doesn't see that there was an engineer right there. Oh no, what is this? How is there a sub so close? Does Trandon not see that as something? Yes, he does. What is this? Kuwa says, look, I know you like it when players produce subs, so here you go. Look at it, just methodically picking apart the build capacity here belonging to Trandon, who for reasons unknown is not dealing with it. Perhaps his focus is elsewhere. VIP, he's flying even more in. Man oh man, this guy is on top of his game today, and looks like he's going to drop it right in the middle of the air players' mass points, the forward mass points. All are Tech 2. They're all capped off. There's a Tech 3 engineer here from Nori as well. And VIP getting straight to work on a Tech 1 point defense. We'll take a look back at that in a minute, because I've just seen on the mini-map we've got another drop on the opposite side. These players dropping each other like nobody's business. This is shaping up to be a fantastic game. If you haven't already and you are enjoying it, do go ahead, give us a like, because it looks like I'm going to be so maxed out on this one. Lightning response there from Trannon with a Tech 1 point defense, but it's far too little too late. There's enough artillery there on the Tech 2 transport to pick off all of the mass points, and they actually damage all the wreckage as well. Trandon's actually trying to rebuild the mass points before the artillery's even left the area. 2 more Tech 2 artillery pieces, both of which are exposed. And on the 11th minute, we've just had no time for anything. We've got yet another drop on the cards over here from Public Enemy number 1, going straight for VIP's base. Say here, have a taste of your own medicine. VIP's on an upgrade. Surely he's got to cancel, and he does. The artillery rains in. It's a beautiful overcharge. He picks off half the artillery. He's got to go for this one. VIP overcharges again. Artillery is raining in, but that's going to be it. I think that could have been a lot worse there for VIP. His upgrade was only 20% or so done, so I don't think that was so bad at all. And here's actually the drop from VIP from a while ago. You see there, he took out all of the mass points. He has now succumbed to the air there from Nori, but that was still worth it. 6 engineers in exchange for 3 capped off mechs and all the bombers and whatever else that you force your opponent to throw at it. Yet another drop on the cards here from Public Enemy. This time, Epic Benis on the case. has his ASF out online. VIP will be pleased for that. And so our first, or what feels like the first failed drop, although further to the north, I believe these were the artillery pieces that was wandering through Trandon's base. You see they're having picked up 5 and 6 on the mechs there as well, taking out 2 further mechs belonging to Epic Benes. Drop and a half. And he's still not over with it. He's flying more around all the time. And he's actually getting to work here on the top. I don't believe this, man. Why are you not dealing with this sub 11 kills? Guys, you know I like my Tech 1 subs early on Navy maps. Here's why. And Kuwa's saying, yeah, I know you do. That's why I've made you one here. Trandon tries to go to reclaim it. And actually forces Kuwa to move. It just moves right back. The cheek on this guy. 15 kills. Public enemy number 1's trying to get attack missile launch online, which he completes. He is a Tech 2, but he's behind enemy lines. He's got to be so careful, man. Playing in the forward position there. Here's the drop as well from public enemy number 1. Does he have the APM to start moving it or no? There's so many bombers here from Trandon laying in wait. He can smell this coming, and it does appear that public enemy number 1 has forgotten about his artillery, which is a shame. There is a mass point there, but Trandon is going to make him pay for that. Yeah, there's lots of red boats all around you, public enemy number 1. Look at him firing his TAP missile launcher. This was a tactic I like to do as the UEF. Of course, got TAP missile. Get Tech 3, get in the drink. And start lobbing missiles in, although Trandon on the ball, defending his central base there, deflecting the missile. That's going to be a no-go. Actually put missile defense over naval factories as well. This is hugely important, because it's very easy as a commander to tap missile all the Navy bases, and basically it's very difficult to recover from that if your opponent's behind on build capacity. South side looks like VIP's done very well in the drink. Has not yet elected to push, although that is about to change. Looks like the first Tech 2 vessel here, the cruiser from VIP, and that's going to fire in missiles at range, tearing public enemies. Well, initially his front line apart, but now it's actually going for the Tech 2 mass points. And looks like he wanted to cap those off. That's not going to be any point. Back to the north, though. Public enemy has gone and himself picked up. Once in a while I had to comment, what do you mean by picked up? You know, it's almost like a figure of speech, like picked up on radar, basically. Like he's been detected, he's been noticed. And so, but it can also mean picked up in the sense like, oh, I've picked that up. Like, you've gotten a kill, you've picked up a kill. So I use the term interchangeably. Of course, that may be obvious to some of my British compatriots, but not so much necessarily to everybody from elsewhere. Destroyer here, still shadowing public enemy number 1, who's actually going into it. Yeah, TAP missiles fired at destroyers works very well, providing they stand still. Doesn't work so well against cruisers, because of course they can shoot them down. Epic Benes appears to be in control of the air at this moment in time. Has ASF on the opposite side. And now actually is flying high value drops. So this is Drop City. We've got 2 awesome siege tanks on this one. Guys, there's so much going on all different parts of the map. Do forgive. Look at this. Drop ships actually passing one another on the north side. We've got siege tanks together with what looks like flak dropping here on Kuwa's side island. That's going to be difficult to sort out. Siege tank able to inflict a lot of damage. The Tech 2 flak, they'll be able to shoot down any bombers or gunships that are sent. And I don't believe it. Public enemy number 1 is finally picked off. Well, I do believe it actually. He was far too loose and fast. Far too far forward. I don't think that was the surprise of the century. Nori takes control, and with it, a dropship that was just moments away from landing suddenly finds itself hovering in mid-air. How's this doing? Well, there's a notification for Kuwa. 7 kills. It's already a Tech 3. The remaining build capacity here from Kuwa gets to work on Tech 1 point defense. Epic realizes it, starts backing off. It's now a 4-star. Just gets out of dodge. Look at that. 5 mass points. That siege tank's taken out. That was worth it. What's we got here? Seriously, Norrie's using a transport to try and pick apart all this build capacity. It's unclear if it actually got anything, but I guess engineers are pretty low health. Maybe it will eventually work. Or Norrie, you've got a dropship up north waiting should you wish, but there's so much he inherited. Norrie now running 3 bases. And here are the siege tanks that have been dropped by Epic down south. One of them runs headlong into a navy and it turns around lightning reactions. But then that gets picked up by Corsair fighter bombers from Kuwa. Nice teamwork here. Navy here from VIP as well. The UAF. All that's missing is a bulwark shield from that. Together with this pressure here from Trandon into the front of what is now Norrie's forward base. Come on, you've got these Tech 2 engineers. You're going to need point defense or something. They're completely lacking APM. We've got another drop over here from Epic Bennis. This one with 28 kills. It's a 5-star siege tank. Thousands and thousands of mass kills. It does appear that they finally dealt with the siege tank on the side island there. But that has cost a pretty penny. Team 1 actually looking pretty comfortable on their half of the map. It does seem like, despite the early drops that were coming from I think it was primarily Kuwa in fairness. VIP together with Epic Bennis really did repay that favor. You know, at some point I'm going to slip up on that name, don't you? It's going to happen at some point. A few torpedo bombers lurking here from Kuwa as well. Do worse than try and help deal with this navy. In fact, there is the shield I was asking for. Makes this pretty strong, but it is, again, the cruisers down. The Enzine hover tanks from Norrie trying to deal with the navy. It's actually got a bunch of gunships in the area as well. They're no doubt being sent to try and deal with this navy. And the torpedo bombers there from Kuwa, I think they just happen to be in the area. I don't think that was an order in it specifically, and I imagine they'll eventually chew that apart. There goes the first ship. That was the shield boat. Although we do have cruisers in the mid all the time. VIP funneling more navy through. North side, well, Kuwa getting a grip on the navy situation as well. Actually appears to be dominating. Yet another drop on the cards from Epic Bennis. I don't believe how many drops, man. Is he going to be successful? We've got 2 siege tanks once again. Do the other team even see it coming? Well, they see some sort of air. It's not necessarily obvious that that's a drop. Those of you that have played this game for a while will recognize it. There we go. Public enemy number 1 does spot it, but it's too late. The drop's taken place.
Invalid air staging order.
Invalid air staging order. Never heard that one before. Kuwa moving in. Who still looks pretty comfortable in the Navy, I have to say, despite all of these drops. We've got some nice team play once again. Norrie assisting his pal. Down goes one of them. That siege tank does manage to pick off a mech before itself going down. I suspect it leaves behind plenty of wreckage. It did also pick this mech as well. So 2 tech, 2 mechs, 2 siege tanks. When you factor in the APM as well from both teams, players that had to deal with it, yeah, I think so. Epic Benes saturate the area with torpedo bombers, and yeah, Kuwa, who was winning, is now. This is unfortunate. I do wonder. Perhaps Nori's just task saturated. I believe that Nori has the air to deal with this. Certainly do worse than just lend a ASF. Thankfully, who with build capacity in the area erects some tracers. They're able to shoot them down. Although now with this counter push from Trandon, I don't know how many ships that Kuwa just lost there, but it seems to have been enough to enable Trandon to push him right back. A nuke out, 22 minutes. This will be very, very difficult to defend. A nuke leaving the silo at 22 minutes, 40-odd seconds. Fired from Nori here, who is assisting the launcher with plenty of Tech 3 engineers. This is unusual. Each one of these engineers assisting the nuke by about 100 energy. So what's that make it? If you get 30 of them assisting, it would be about twice as quick. I don't know, my brain hurts. Nuke moving in the rear then. Epic Benes's base is on the menu. Looks like Epic knows it, has sent all his engineers to leave as quickly as possible. Tries to get a fusion online out the base. That there is... This just is top level play. You know you're going to lose your base, so not only do you get your engineers out, but you actually get on the way with producing a fusion reactor before the nuke's even impacted. Of course, Epic there surviving as well, leaving his base to the north. Also seen players reclaiming stuff in their own base. You know, that's a very high-end play as well. You know, you can't defend it, so you might as well reclaim some of the stuff for mass. Nori, who is slowly but surely wresting control of the southern pond. VIP pushed back. Also see a bunch of hover tanks here. More Yenzin than artillery. Two torpedo bombers here from the north. Trandon going after Naval Yard. Why not? If your build capacity is forced into repairing a Navy yard, it's not assisting construction of a new ship. Plus it drains your opponent's resources somewhat. Yet another drop on the cards. Just as Kuwa once again looks like he's starting to stabilize the front. I don't think he's winning, but he's got a decent stabilized front. Two siege tanks here from Epic. I mean, man oh man, this guy... The air player, I've never seen an air player drop as often as this and as consistently. Of course, nothing compares to the mega drop that I did, what was it, about 15 years ago now. That really, really old, horrific resolution of a YouTube video. Unfortunately, it's the only piece of evidence that remains of the drop. Not that that would work these days. With all the scouting, and that's going to be taken out there. Although the siege tank does pick off the mechs in its dying moment, I still think it was worth it. 3 mechs there. A second nuke out from Nori. 25 minutes 50 seconds is the second nuke. I believe it's from the same site. Yeah, it will be. It'll be the same silo, and he's assisting it for a third. Incidentally, the first nuke managing to take out 48,000 mass. Trandon actually looking very strong once more with the Navy. Nukes moving in. VIP, as if Crystal Ball realizes he's on the menu and is moving out. Spy plane there from Nori, just wants to see exactly what he's going to get with his nuke. And yeah, nice. Moving back towards the west then, Trandon and his Navy. Well, there's not a lot here to stop this. Kuwa's going to be overrun. I mean, he's pulling back all the time. Nori does have air supremacy. How many torpedo bombers has he got in the area? 9 of them. Well, that, of course, will help, but I don't think it's anything like enough. Trandon actually sending all his destroyers and his frigates south to these two. There is the Navy HQ down there, so I agree with the decision, but there's a lot of build capacity further to the north here. Actually, the overwhelming majority who are very quick to respond to the situation, producing Navy yards more centrally. Lovely team play here from Norrie, sending in more torpedo bombers all the time. Realizes that the gig's up. If he loses Cliff, Norrie's going to be all by himself. Beautiful positioning here from VIP. I love this. The cruiser's there and the bulk of the Navy elsewhere, and it just lobbing in long-range missiles. Norrie able to get a battleship online, but look at the amount of damage these are eating. There doesn't seem to be the APM left from Norrie to get TAC missile defense online, or indeed to pursue these cruisers as priority. Back to the northern side. That's a crazy, crazy game. We haven't had a chance yet to look at the eco. Still complete air supremacy from Norrie, who's still got torpedo bombers in the area. I do just wonder how many. We've also got 2 or 3 Corsair fighter bombers from Kuwait. There's now 15 of them. Nuke number 3, 28 minutes, 20 seconds. The third nuke from the very same silo. Looks like everybody is going to get a piece. Is this going to go in the rear? Actually, it could do, although it's not really worth it. There's not really an established base yet. Trandon, who is way outside his base, and it looks like his main base is going to get it. These are all Tech 3 mass points. Torpedo bombers continuing to harass Trandon's navy, who was forced into producing nothing but cruisers for some time. We see there 5, maybe even 6. Actually, the further east we go, the more cruisers we see, and that's completely tidied up the torpedo bombers. Epic Bennis has been able to get a few ASF into the area. Those have dealt with any stragglers as well, and there is still a tide of red overwhelming the blue. Further to the south, Norrie redirecting his new torpedo bombers to deal with VIP's navy that once again has kicked Team 2 completely out the pond. We see there Norrie desperately trying to re-establish naval yards, getting torpedo bombers online, torpedo launchers online as well. We'll slowly chew through these destroyers, but now we've got a battle cruiser as well from VIP. 2 of them, in fact. Norrie taking a particular dislike to them. Down goes 1. So many torpedoes here. How many has Norrie got? 22. But losing again all of the naval. All of them. Go on then, half an hour. I always like people, you know, whether you leave it as a comment or not, but, you know, which way do you think it's going? I realise we haven't looked yet at the ecos, but certainly Team 1 dominating the northern ponds. They were dominating the south, but Norrie with his air looks like he's wrestled the immediate threat off and he's gotten straight underway again. Look at this. Naval Yard online. Get it upgraded ASAP. And I think we've just heard, yes, we have the 4th nuke going out. How many kills has this sucker got so far? 156 kills, 109,000 mass. That is a 5-star nuke launcher. And Norrie once again chucking his torpedo bombers forward. I mean, he's got to deal with these cruisers. There's 4 of them at least. And I didn't see a single one go down. Oh, there does go 1. There goes 2, actually. I beg your pardon, 2 remain. Where is this nuke? It's going for VIP's naval build capacity. He does realise it and backs off. And this here is the Tech 3 Naval HQ. Backs a bunch of build capacity together with the Navy HQ. VIP got the majority of his capacity away. And there's plenty of other naval yards in the area. a minor inconvenience. More torpedo bombers coming up from Norrie all the time. 15 hit points. Come on, man. A solitary scout would pick that off, unless, of course, the cruiser vets up. It's not a million miles away from doing so. Oh, that's the sound of a chicken dippers. And it's 20 minutes. Until my better half rolls up. Come on. Ah, if she sees the end of it, never mind. The chicken continues to move up. more drops here from Epic. There was a ping there. But this chicken, I don't see much to oppose it. Trandon is actually way far forward, so he's got no choice but to run. Look at all the orders there from Norrie, just funneling everything through the central region. Norrie, who is actually pushed out from his coastline somewhat and has already got an Tech 3 Navy HQ back up, 64% on the first battleship. And another nuke out. I wonder if T1 are going to think about shooting one down. So they start pouring strat bombers or just the one onto the chicken. Actually, Trandon forced to bring his navy back, or at least redirect it. Yeah, he is. Look at it. He's brought it all the way back to try and deal with this chicken. There goes the nuke. Well, that looks like it's going to connect. Doesn't actually. I'm not actually seeing a nuke defense over Trandon's base, so I doubt Norrie would have thought that the base would be undefended. But yeah. Chicken at half health. Well then, someone says it's okay to slow time down once in a while to get some cinematics. Go on then. Let's follow the chicken. What we got below half health now. I just wish when you move the camera, the health bars didn't reset the view. That's why I've got to keep toggling it on and off. Just 12,000 hit points remain on the chicken. 11. Unloading the Oblivion point defense. Numerous strategic bombers. We've got the battleships. We're back to full pace. Just 1,000 hit points remain on that sucker. And it looks like he's going to pick off a mass point in his dying moment. Yes, he does. Gets actually scarily close to Trandon, but not close enough. VIP really helping to lock the area down with this strong navy here. This is actually not a navy. This is basically engineers on reclaim duty. Look at it all. We've got a couple of frigates and bulwark shields here, whose only real thing they can do is perhaps deal with a lot of the spam. But Norrie, he's not bothering with destroyers or frigates. It's just battleships and Zooey artillery pieces. Decent combo. 35 minutes, 35 seconds. Go on, if I ain't going to do it now, I'm never going to do it. There's no pause in action. It's non-stop. Let's have a look on the 1,000 mass apiece. Both teams. 1,000 mass a tick. Look at the scores. 1.3 million, 1.3 million. Team 2, that's these guys down here, apparently 10,000 mass ahead over the entire course of the game. That is all. It's less than 1%. It's right around there. Let's have a look at the mass killed. Pretty close, but Team 2 certainly ahead in that area. 50,000 mass, around 10% or so. So despite what's coming out the ground being very much neck and neck, Team 2 doing ever so slightly more with it. Despite these insanely effective attacks here from Trandon, looks like he's about to pick off a Tech 2 Navy Yard that's so close to being a Tech 3. Actually then, Kuwa realizing it, and instead of assisting the upgrade, assists the repair. And that's just as well. It's much cheaper to repair a Tech 2 Navy Yard than it is to repair a Tech 3 one. Even without destroyers firing on it, that was very, very close. Actually thought Trandon was going to get it. A few strat bombers here from Epic Venice that he's trying to save up. He's actually got 11 of them. And we've got a chicken bot here harassing the Navy belonging to Trandon. We've got another nuke out. And Nori, what's that? An experimental bomber just got produced. It looks like it was being fired at from the Navy. It's only half health, even though it's brand new, so it really was eating fire. And Nori's going to use this to help deal with some of the spam. What have we got? No, he isn't. He's just paying a visit. Oh, yes, he is. He's trying to maneuver into position. Down goes a bomb. I've never seen the bomber fire a bomb while skidding sideways, but we have now. It only managed to get 3 kills. Tell me, yes, he does. He does have air supremacy in the area, so he will be able to cover the bomber. We do see Cruiser Sam's coming up. He maneuvers it round, and VIP, well, if he can't cover the area in Sam's or more cruisers, it cracks the shield, gets several kills there. That's a bunch of units going down. More cruisers do remain, more shields are coming all the time. I'm going to focus on this experimental bomber at the expense of all else for now. It's like Epic Venice was thinking about it, then backs off, knows he doesn't have enough air to win the fight. Bomber again. 15 kills, now up to 22. Notice there a bunch of T1 subs going down as well as that huge splash damage hits the surface. Experimental bombers losing health rapidly, down to just 25% or so. Still yet to get its first start. Quick check elsewhere. Credit to Kuwa for staying in the game, man, naval-wise. Nice pickup there from the bomber. Most of this is just engineers and spam, but actually Nori bringing it home. Battleships here from Trandon still unloading into the central base that Nori's actually shielded up pretty well, but there's just not quite enough. Wonder actually, oh, we've got a donut as well from Nori. There's so much. The experimental bomber here as well. That's unloaded. Bang, a shed load of subs there. Heavily inflicts damage on the battlecruiser. Actually a bit of friendly fire as well on the near battleship. And so the donut and the experimental bomber here from Nori in the southern pods. Just as Epic Venice, we see him getting an experimental bomber of his own. And so on the 40th minute, this is still anybody's game. Economy-wise, it's neck and neck. 1,200 mass apiece per tick. Another nuke out. And the donut now. Let's slow time down. In fact, apologies for this, guys. I'm going to do this for the screenshot. I know sometimes people don't want me to check games. Well, if I don't check them, I can't get a screenshot, can I? That right there. Slow time down as slow as we go. And let's come over to my apologies for this. I realize it's there we go. Unpause. Take a couple of screenshots. And there we go. We can go back to Come on, get my camera back. There we go. Actually, forgive us. I just need to get the scoreboard back. That was terrible. Apologies for that. You know what? I think I may have to just check, you know, a certain percentage of games still just so I can get a screenshot from. Oh, in comes that nuke that we saw right into the front of Trandon's base. Again, Trandon there just getting out of the blast radius. I don't know how many nukes that Norrie's fired from that silo, but I don't think a single one has been shot down. 319 kills, 206,000 mass at 41 minutes. Norrie looking increasingly strong down here. I think he's won it. I think there's much that can be done around that. In the north, however, Trandon once again beginning to dominate despite that little breather that Kuwa received, who was able to get a few battleships online to his credit, but I suspect it's not going to be enough. I imagine that Kuwa could really use that experimental bomber right now. It's assuming it is, of course, still alive. Speaking of experimental bombers, Epic Bennis making a play here with his full health still. We've got a shed load of strat bombers behind it, 18 of them. And the ASF as well. Here comes the experimental bomber. Unloads onto Kuwa's side islands. That eats one. There's the ping, no doubt from his team, saying, hey, Norrie, look at this. We've got an experimental bomber on the loose. Norrie moving in with his ASF to deal with. Off goes a second bomb right into Kuwa's main base. That impacts nicely. Norrie takes out the experimental bomber, gets tangled up into a fight. Epic Bennis using the opportunity and exploiting the confusion to thread his strat bombers through. Norrie begins pursuit, but it's a terrible time, losing I don't know how many strat bombers in the process. How many ASF there? Enough strat bombers make it to the back of Norrie's base. Norrie's desperately trying to run away, but I don't think it's going to matter. Kapow! That's enough. And at 43 minutes, Norrie is outplayed by Epic Bennis with a brilliant strategic move. That was a play and a half. Inferior number of aircraft. Been behind on air for most of the game, and that leaves Kuwa all by himself. Does he have enough? Well, it controls the southern ponds. Air, well, whatever dominance he may have had, I think he's lost it. He's certainly lost the northern ponds. And Kuwa thinks, yeah, sod this. I'm out. Ladies and gentlemen, what an absolutely fantastic game. We actually got a desync there on the very end. How interesting. I do hope you enjoyed the game. And until next time from me, thank you very much for watching. I have actually been working on the outro. Hasn't quite yet been refined. So, you know, perhaps on the next game. Big shout out to Matthew, who joined recently. And until next time from me, wherever in the world you may be, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Take care. Bye-bye. Really out of breath after that one, man. Oh, non-stop. See ya.